Right.
just in case, because then I can get your side of the track if it doesn't sound good on your end. Okay,
Great.
great. Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
Gomer. What's up, Gomertrons?
This
I'm
one's
still
going to
in
be a little
Oregon.
different.
Yeah, this is an emergency block.
Okay, let's just get right into it.
All right, let's do it. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, click. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Oh, that's so much better. Great.
Yeah, it must have shifted.
Yeah, that's good.
Totally good.
You're listening to Runner's Block, a Two Gomers podcast about regular people chasing their goals.
Wait, chasing big goals, right?
I know.
That's okay. Just
You're
start over.
listening. Yeah. You're listening to Runner's Block, a Two Gomers podcast about regular people chasing big goals by confronting one excuse at a time. This is Block 20. My state is on fire for the week of August 29th, 2021.
Welcome, everybody, to this, the 20th Runner's Block. This is Anthony speaking, one of those two aforementioned Gomers coming to you from Sun River, Oregon, with my friend Steven all the way out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Hey, dude.
Hey, man, we're on the same time zone,
Same time zone.
which is super cool. Still, I mean, if you're on RB 19, you already heard us
Right.
talk about that.
Yep.
But,
And if you're a 13.1 subscriber,
mm,
you heard my movie pitch about time zone.
oh,
I'm not
right.
going to say any more.
Yep, because we haven't recorded that yet, but it came out already.
And so you don't know what it is. So you're
Right.
pretending you do because people have already heard it. Oh, man. Speaking
I'm
of
not
time zones,
Yeah, I'm not pretending. I'm not good at that.
we're bad actors.
Okay, dude. So I texted you,
Yeah.
dude, have you ever heard of this thing called AQI?
And I was like, huh?
Right. And so it's the Air Quality Index.
Right. Which, right when I looked it up, I was like, of course it is. It's that bar on
Right.
my Weather Channel app
Mm-hmm.
that when it's so there's two times I've looked at that. One is during wildfires,
Okay.
and the other is when I've been in cities with smog.
Okay, sure. Yep.
So I've looked at it when I've been in LA, and I looked
Mm-hmm.
at it when we were in Bangkok,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, okay, but you were like, it's air quality index, and you took a screenshot, I think, of your weather app, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was like up in the red,
Yeah, it
and
was
I was
like
like, oh yeah,
2:56 or something that morning.
right,
Something like that. And so I'm like, what? Like
yeah,
no clue what this is. So we wanted to just like jump in and talk about a block about, this AQI stuff, air quality, your state's on fire. Should you go outside?
So we're not even going to do intro here. We're just going to
Right.
get right into the block. Also, you don't have a La Croix.
Oh yeah, I don't have a La Croix. I did have a Diet Coke earlier. I'm still sipping on that because this is the same sesh. So if you want to hear that, it's like, hey, how's it going? Here it is.
So you were
I
like,
still have
let's
it.
do a mini-sode.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to do we're going to try this. We're going to try to do a mini block right now
Yeah.
because this isn't something that you usually deal with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Poor air quality because of forest fires.
Right. There are like more fires right now. There's like a day after tomorrow thing going on in the world, dude. You know what I
It's
mean? Like
yeah, is it always scary like this? But I just feel like this summer is scary.
yeah, and like also there's also a global pandemic
Oh
that
yeah,
won't go away.
right,
There's everything that 2020 and 2021 was.
right.
It's just like everything seems in flux and in limbo and crazy.
But
That's
there's
what I
like
mean. It's
more
like,
hurricanes and earthquakes too, I think.
yeah,
So that's kind of
right.
weird.
Totally. There's global warming. There's
Oh,
well,
that
sorry,
report
excuse
that
me.
just
Climate change,
right,
global climate change.
right.
Sorry.
That report that came out last week where they're like, yeah, it's real.
Right.
Everything I saw, all the headlines were like, okay, it's real now.
They're like,
If you
it's
didn't think it
real
was
and
real, it's real.
it's real and it's your fault.
That's what it
Basically.
was. It's like, not only is it horrible,
Right.
you did it. We're
Right.
laughing. Next year, we're all going to be dead.
Oh no.
No, we're not. We're not.
No,
But
no, no,
I
no.
know what you mean. And actually, I looked up a stat. But
Oh,
I did some research,
we love our stats. Now we need to put a disclaimer. Okay.
right?
Like we say this every single time. We're
Mm,
not scientists.
no,
If we say go running when it's over this number and that's wrong, that's on. Don't trust us.
but we did do some research. But
But
here's
we
some research I
tried.
did about the
Yes.
world. Okay, ready?
Ooh, okay.
A big stat.
Mm-hmm.
Wildfires are always a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Droughts have gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to see, because of this thing we're talking about right now, like, it seems pretty bad this year.
Yeah.
In 2020, 2 million acres burned.
Hmm.
In 2021, so far this year,
Mm-hmm.
3 million acres. And so
Wow.
up by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not just making it up. There are more fires. Now, we heard from several people like it's bad right now, but it was worse last year. So we know it depends on the area you're in. But I was
Okay.
just looking at US stats that
Yep.
the drought is worse and the fires are worse right now. And
Hmm.
so we were like, okay, so is this thing too specific, like fires?
Right. Should you go? Are fires a block?
Right.
And
And
we were
so
like, actually, yeah, dude.
and so you're experiencing it right now because you're in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
And Oregon is on fire basically right now.
Right. So, like, just as an example,
Mm-hmm.
last night we like had like an outdoor sort of like dinner party sort of thing on
Yeah.
this like really nice patio.
Yeah.
And I got home and my shirt smelled like I'd been at a barbecue.
Right. Yeah. So like
You
if
know what
you're
I
at a
mean?
bonfire with your friends and you come
Right.
home and you smell like that,
Yeah, it's like an amazing smell,
right?
but I wasn't at a bonfire. Nobody was grilling.
You were just sitting outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's kind of an amazing smell, but it's also like, geez, like what is going on? Like why like I texted you, I've been having like a headache for like a week.
Right. Yep.
Um and I had no idea why. And then we were talking about this AQI stuff and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah. Yep.
that could be it."
Yeah. So it was just so interesting to me that you were like, okay, you're there, you're experiencing it. It's
Mhm.
hazy. Is it hazy there?
It's very hazy. Like the moon last night was like
Mm-hmm.
red.
Yeah, which is cool. That's the
It's
shame of all this is like actually that's pretty cool.
it's so cool. Like the sun is like this gorgeous orange and you
Yep.
can you can like look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Yeah.
don't follow my advice. Don't look at the sun.
But you heard it here first. Anthony said, "Look right at the sun."
They do it. They sue the Gomers. Trump did it first. Remember?
I do remember.
Remember he was like, look.
Just looking right at it. So Anthony and Trump advise.
No, don't put me.
And you've had like rehearsals canceled, right? Like over
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
air quality is so bad.
Right. So actually, so landed here, like I flew over Mount Rainier in
Mm-hmm.
Seattle. I'm
Yeah.
like, like mountains make me cry. They're just
Mm-hmm.
so incredible.
Yep.
And then flew into Redmond, drove down here, and I go to pick up my music, and the office like of the music festival is a buzz about this
Mm.
AQI stuff.
Right. Okay.
And I'm like, hey, what's that, dudes? Like, they're like,
Coming
oh
in.
man, what do you think about this AQI thing? And I was like,
Bad.
yeah, I was like, I don't even know what that is. Like what? And remember, I said on the last episode, I texted Erin. She's like, oh yeah, I know. I,
Mhm.
I was like, we don't have bad air in Atlanta. And she
The
was like,
promised
actually,
land.
yeah. She was like, actually, we monitor that like every day to see how long we can be out for recess, like in the
Wow.
school. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
interesting.
crazy. Yep.
So, but for us though, it's more like pollen
Mm-hmm.
counts
Right.
and
Yep.
stuff like that, which actually cause it. So maybe I'm gonna need to monitor this stuff now. Maybe that's why sometimes I get headaches at home. Actually,
Yeah.
but so they were like, we don't even know if we can have concerts and rehearsals outside.
Yeah.
And so then that's when I texted you and I was like, what is happening in the world? We can't be inside
Yeah.
because of COVID. Not just this, it's like the world. And now we can't go outside. So it's like, is there some
Yep.
grand conspiracy that, you know what I mean?
And that's how we felt in June in Flagstaff. So
Okay.
um huge fires. basically on every side, north, east, and
Well,
west.
you were worried for a little while that you guys were literally going to have to evacuate,
Yeah, so they have
right?
this system here. I don't know if it's like a local system, but it's called the Ready, Set, Go system.
Okay.
When it
From the
comes
Gomers.
to Ready, Set, Go, Mer. Remember that?
Mer. Yes.
Oh my gosh, so dumb,
So stupid.
but so good.
Totally.
Love it. Um, so the Ready is like, and this is all about fire preparedness,
Okay.
wildfire preparedness,
Yep.
um, because that's the natural disaster that affects us most
Mm-hmm.
in Flagstaff. So besides high heat sometimes. So Ready is like just like there are fires approaching.
Okay.
And so you should start preparing for the chance that you would have to evacuate your house.
Wow.
That
Okay.
is at any moment we could blow a whistle and you have to leave town.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
you need to evacuate. Not
Dang.
town, they have it by neighborhood. And
Mm-hmm.
so if your neighborhood gets a set, you have to be packed up and ready to leave.
Dang.
And then go as you have to evacuate to a different neighborhood in town.
Okay. So where's the closest you've gotten to?
So we were at set for most of June.
Really?
Yeah. And I was
Oh,
in
dang.
Utah for a week of that. And so
Yeah,
Jessica's
I
at
remember.
home, but not at home. That would be easy if we were at friggin' home at a
Right.
friend's house who we were living there because we were homeless, right?
Uh-huh.
We're
Yep.
between homes, watching their chickens and their dog, and
Yep.
calling them in Germany and saying, "What do you want us to pack in your house and
How?
take with us so that you can have like baby pictures still?" You know what I mean? And
Oh
so,
my
um,
gosh.
so I wasn't there for a week. I was in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there was some haze there too, even from those fires.
Wow.
So that's the other thing, right? Like you can have a fire in one state, and the states around it can be effective depending on the fire
Yeah.
size.
Mm-hmm.
So she was at set certainly that whole week I was gone,
Mm-hmm.
ready to like bolt
Oh my gosh.
with our kids, our dog, these people's dog, maybe their chickens, their gerbil chubs.
Chub. Don't forget
The
Chubs.
boys were like obsessed with chubs for some reason. I think it's the name.
Yeah, Chubs McGavin.
They were taking pictures of him, doing memes of him, Chubs. So Chubs until she would have to leave, and so it was like you're talking about, but like the what you just said, like why can't we just have a nice day
Right.
where I can go somewhere and I won't be in danger of dying immediately?
It's like the air inside COVID, the air outside smoke.
Right. Go to a
Oh,
movie, COVID, you die. Go outside a movie, fire, kill. It's so annoying. So,
annoying. That's a
oh,
weird
I
way to
know.
put
It's so, I think
This
it's so
is so.
funny. So,
I
like,
know it. Yeah.
there were days when it was like snowing ash,
Wow. Yeah.
like 2020s, not 2012, I should say, stuff, right? Day after tomorrow stuff.
Uh huh. For sure.
And
Wow.
we had a listener. Let me see. Um, I can't find out who said it, but it looked like she said it looked like November. Oh, Barb in British Columbia says she's had smoke since July. The index has been between 250 and 400 for her. Some
Wow.
days it looks like mid-November cloud cover, but there's no
Hmm.
clouds. It's
Oh
just
dang.
smoke.
Yeah.
So we actually asked because we were like, is this too specific? We asked our listeners to write in, and a ton of
Hmm.
people did.
Hmm.
Where you would expect, right? All from the west,
Right.
where it's drought and fire. And we had a lot of people saying, yeah, this is a huge block for me.
Hmm.
I can't run.
Sure. So I was talking to one of my friends in the orchestra earlier today. She's like super like biker and runner and
Uh-huh.
athlete.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how's it going? Because I know she like she's the person like we would ask like, hey, where should we go hike or like, tell us cool stuff about Oregon.
Right.
And she was like, oh, I haven't run.
Mm.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, really? I was like, I went for a run this morning. She's like, what? Like, she's like, that's not a very good idea.
Well, I did do a little bit also of research. We're not scientists
Nope, not scientists.
about so like it's like between 100 that it's like this index and they give you a number, right?
Mm-hmm.
The AQI is if it's between 100 and 200,
Mm-hmm.
that's bad for like people who are sensitive. So if you have
Sure.
asthma or lung disease or whatever, you shouldn't go out for a long time and you certainly shouldn't exercise outside. If it's 200 or over, it's like you shouldn't be running.
You shouldn't do it. Yeah.
Right.
So I think
Now,
it was just over 200
okay.
this morning when I did it. And I have a whole reason that I ran. I had like a really stressful
Uh-huh.
rehearsal that like,
Right.
man, dude, oh, can I just give an ode to running real quick in the center of this? This
Let's
is
do
this
it.
is a little Ephesians when Paul's talking about stuff and then he does a praise break for like a paragraph,
Or
one run-on
or a
sentence.
chapter.
Yeah, or just a chapter. I love Paul.
Yeah.
I love Ephesians. Okay, that's a weird analogy, but that's the like, okay, running
Mm.
does something to your physical body that is so awesome. So like I was feeling nervous.
Mhm.
I've got some like really stressful solos that I got to do and I want to play great and like I always want to do. And I was just I was feeling a little jittery about it,
Yeah.
right? Got to shake those wiggles out
Yep.
like we
Wiggle those
talked
waggles
about.
away.
Yep, totally got to wiggle that Wiimote and waggle your wiggles. Don't wiggle the Wiimote. Don't waggle the Wiimote.
Just
Go for
wiggle
a
or
run.
waggle whatever you need to. Yeah, go out for a run. That's what we're saying.
Go for a run instead. um, but like I really felt a clear sense, dude.
Mm,
Like I actually prayed and I was like, Lord, I'm feeling really kind of nervous
yeah,
about this rehearsal.
right.
And I'm telling you, the good shepherd
Mhm.
was like, get up, go for a run,
Mm,
practice this stuff.
right.
Like almost as audible of a voice as I've ever heard.
Huh. Wow, and
And
it's
I was
running
like,
related. That's pretty awesome.
yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And so I got up, I went for a run, and then I did my practice session, and the rehearsal was amazing. Felt
Wow.
great. It felt
Yeah.
so good. Um, and I don't know. So that's just my little ode to running. Is it like made made my wiggles disappear?
It really wiggled those waggles right out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You you know what I mean? So
Yep.
like I love how running does that to your physical body.
I do too. Now, here's
So
what I'm going to say about the fact that you ran that day and it was
yeah.
probably over 200 or whatever. You're going to be fine.
Okay.
And so I did research about this too. It felt very much like when I did research when I had to scrape the asbestos ceilings in my house.
Yeah, and my mom texted me like,
He's gonna
Stop
die.
even now."
So with that, I'm gonna go with this analogy. So when I
Okay.
scraped the asbestos off my ceiling, um, I was like, oh no, is this bad? Like I know it's poisonous and it stays in your lungs and it's bad for you. So I actually did talk to my doctor and I did some
Mhm.
research and he was
Nice.
like, if people that are doing this for a living have to take tons of precautions and it's bad for them, it's dangerous.
Sure.
If you're a homeowner and you're doing it once, take the precautions, put that dumb mask on, and I wore like a hazmat
Yeah,
Breaking
you
Bad
you
suit,
you
all
looked
that
like ET, like the end of ET, like those guys
right.
coming into the
Yeah.
NASA guys.
So he was saying if you breathe some of it in, that's going to be a once in your life thing.
Mhm.
You're going to be completely fine. It's like you smoke 2 packs of cigarettes.
Okay, and you're like, "Well, that sounds cool."
I did actually feel kind of cool,
You're like, "Oh, cool, I'm smoking." No, that's
as
bad.
long as it's not vaping. Ugh, I
Oh,
hate
yeah.
vaping.
Right.
So everything that I've read about this is that you go out in this Runner's World article. They were like, you really have to do like a risk versus reward.
Oh yeah, that was super interesting. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So the article you're talking about
Hmm.
is from Runner's World. It's called "Is It Safe to Run with Wildfire Smoke in the Air?
Right.
It could pose serious health risks for runners."
Yeah. And so what this guy in Runner's World was saying is very similar to what my doctor said about the asbestos in my ceiling. Was like, you're doing a lot of good getting that off of your ceiling, and you just have to realize that's a risk for you, a very small risk, but the reward is great. In the Runner's World arc, they were like, if you're training for a race and you have to run,
Hmm.
you have to make that calculation in you.
Right.
don't go running for the rest of your life and breathe in smoke. That's
Right.
bad.
Right.
And so I think you being in Bend for, a couple weeks and going out for a couple runs, you're going to be okay. But I think the big advice is actually, if it's over 200, you should do what you can not to run outside,
Got it. Okay, so that's what she did,
right?
which was she was like, so what I did is I went for a bike ride in the afternoon when it got to be like 150.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, wait, but it was 100 degrees out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that was stupid. No, I didn't say that. I was like, I actually said, you're crazy. And
Yeah.
she's like, no, you're crazy for going running when it was like 200. But I mean, it was all like she wasn't like, you're an idiot.
Right.
She was like, she said she has asthma
Mm-hmm.
and was like, it's just not a good idea for
Right.
her.
Yep.
So she's like extra precautious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that it was a block for me huge in June because it was like all month. It's going to be a block for you while you're in Oregon, right? Because
Yeah.
you're there for a couple weeks. And so, but I mean, you're thinking about like, well, that actually helps me to perform well if I get out and exercise.
See,
And
that
so
was the thing. My
that you have to
mental
do that
state,
calculation.
yeah, my mental state was going to be jacked
Right.
going into that rehearsal. You know what
We
I
want
mean?
people to hear clearly, do what the scientists say, do what the
Yes.
doctors say, which is avoid if you can running outside when it's over 200.
Yeah. I think it
Um,
was like right around 200, a
yeah,
little bit over. So we're not talking 400, 500. And that time when it was 250
yeah.
was the time where we actually like postponed our rehearsal.
Cancel your rehearsal. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, I mean, they're being really
Serious.
careful with the musicians and everything too, which is super nice to feel, taken care of and everything.
So it's like there's like the danger about it, but there's also like it is annoying. It sucks. You were saying this
Sure.
headache stuff, right? Here,
Yeah.
you're going to be so impressed with all the research I did. So
Ooh.
when you're just sitting around, you breathe in and out 8 to 10 liters of air a minute. Okay.
Huh.
When you're exercising, when you're running,
Yep.
you breathe in and out 150 to 180 liters of air a minute.
Interesting.
And so the amount of air you're breathing in and the effect that that smoke is having on your lungs is multiplied by what, like 15 to 20 times.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
so that's obviously why somebody would say avoid that if you can.
Yep. Especially if you like live there, like you
Right,
do. Like
right.
I'm on this short work trip,
Yeah,
I want to get a couple runs in. It's
yep.
helping my mental state.
Hmm.
It's really good for my body in so many ways. And
Yeah.
it's in this low, right? Feel like I keep justifying myself here, but
Well, no, we want to be with all of these blocks, right? We want to be like, well, how serious is this? I do feel like the smoke is serious.
it is serious. Yes.
And we heard from a lot of people
Hmm.
that it has just totally derailed their running and
Hmm.
exercise. So,
Yeah.
like, Anne, she lives in the Pacific Northwest, said that like lately it's just been 100-degree heat days over 200 AQI,
Hmm.
and she's just like, it's just a solid block for me. I can't run
Sure.
when it's like
Yeah.
that. The heat doesn't help. Um, Tracy, he lives in Boulder. He says it's a huge block for him. So Colorado like that. Leah's in Bend and newly postpartum. She was
Yeah.
saying, I just want to restart, but this thing is making it impossible.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Wow. Dude, she's like 20 miles away from me. Hey, Leah.
And in the past, because she's hearing this when you're
Oh,
back
right.
at home.
Right.
I thought Scott's comment was interesting. He was actually running a race, the Wild West Relay, last
Hmm.
weekend. He
Yep.
got an AQI warning on his phone, but he
Hmm.
like was in like a canyon, and so he just
Yeah.
had to finish. He just
Sure.
had to finish the race, and so
What
there's
do you
that
do?
too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Um, so I was thinking, well, let's come up with all these tips. But then Chris writes in and gives all the tips I was going to give. So
Ooh.
she says she has to wake up at 5 a.m. because the smoke is less in the mornings. We were
Mm-hmm.
noticing that in Flagstaff.
Yep.
It
Okay.
clears up at night. and then in the earlier in the morning you go. So sun's out,
Sun's out, guns out.
Chris is out.
Yep.
um, do indoors if you can, strength training.
Sure.
She said, so I guess it's strength training or walks for me, right? For a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of like my tip was going to be go on the treadmill or do stuff inside,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're in air conditioning because that's filtering it.
Right.
And then she said she's been able to wear a bunch of cute masks and everybody's used to that
Ah.
now.
Yeah, so that was one of the interesting things is you're seeing people in Sun River like
Mm-hmm.
just wearing masks outside.
Right. Yep.
And like, oh yeah, it's super smoky.
Yeah.
And now we're like used to wearing masks.
Right. The stigma's gone for
Uh-huh.
sane people. Sorry.
Uh,
So mean. Sorry, everyone. Like nobody except for the biggest. Now I'm gonna say everything. So nobody but the biggest jerks are gonna be like mad at anybody for wearing a mask at this point. And so when I see somebody wearing a mask, I'm not like, huh? Where 2 years ago or 3 years ago I might have been. Now it's
yeah,
like
you'd be like, what?
you don't
Right.
see it anymore. And so I texted you like I actually found, and they said this in the Runner's World article too, right? I actually found that wearing an N95 mask
Mm-hmm.
makes a significant difference.
Nice. Yep.
So that is not comfortable to run in.
It's not, no.
It's not impossible to run in, but it's
Right.
not ideal. I get that. But if people are really serious about wanting to run and yet there's smoke in the air, that is something that helps even a little bit to
Sure.
run with a mask. It's safer to run with a mask than it is to run maskless.
Sure. Okay. So I guess another practical would be watch that AQI because
Mhm.
it does. I've been watching it,
Yeah,
and it does go up and down like drastically through the day.
definitely. Depends on
Like,
if there's wind or what the atmosphere is doing,
sure.
right? Like it can. I don't know. What kind of range are you seeing?
Okay. So right now it's 89.
Oh, okay.
The other day it was 250,
Yeah, that's a big range,
and
and it's
I
only a
heard
couple days. Yeah.
like I heard it was forecast tonight to be like 21.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, so it might be the kind of thing. And you know what? This is kind of a little, this is also kind of a bonus heat episode because I'm hearing it's like 100 degrees.
Right. Yeah.
One tip I forgot to mention. Can I say a tip from It's Too Bleeping Hot Out
I'll allow
episode?
it. Yes,
Okay.
you may.
When I was in Florida,
Yeah.
you may remember I loved running in the rain
Yep.
because like that was, and maybe people think that's crazy, but remember what I would do back in the olden days is I would just hang out in my running stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it started to rain, I would go for a run.
You would wait
Yep.
until you're the opposite of most people,
Yep.
where they wait until it stops raining and they go.
Yeah.
You were like, clear skies, forget that crap. But when it rains,
Mm-mm.
you're out there.
Mm-mm. Yep. Clear skies and 100 degrees, forget it. Starts
Yeah.
raining, cool. It's like you're
Yeah.
bringing a air conditioner with you. It's absolutely incredible. So I love that. So I would kind of like convert that to this is
Mhm.
like minus the heat and the sun and all that stuff of the day, but like watch that AQI, and when it dips below 200 or 150 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's good. Maybe below 100, like it's 89 right now.
Right.
Although it's 90 degrees, so I probably won't be going for a run right now.
Right.
But I guess so. Watch that number. Just be aware of that number.
I think it's very similar in the way it works practically with should you run or shouldn't you run.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to temperature,
Mm-hmm.
where I like this tip of just keep an eye on it, check, and when
Mm-hmm.
it's safe, run, and when it's not safe because it's too freaking hot or cold or
Yep.
the AQI is too high, then figure out a different thing to do.
Do your risk or reward thing.
Right.
Like in that Runner's World article, they were like, if this is holding you back and you've qualified for Boston,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like,
Yep.
and like that's a bucket list goal, you got to check that risk or reward. Like you're
Yeah.
like, you really want to complete that goal. And so maybe go for a few runs, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I have one more tip.
Let's hear it.
I have one more tip.
Is it just do it? Is it Eat the Frog?
Nope. No.
Wow.
Are you ready for this? So I'm in this house, this really nice house,
Yeah.
but there's no air conditioning here. Like,
Okay.
I don't think they expected this global climate change, man, is legit. First of all, the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle.
Hmm.
Do that crap as much as you can.
This is like he's Al Gore all of a sudden over here.
Watch Inconvenient Truth. No, just kidding.
Well,
No,
I'll tell
but
you, you're in high elevation and in a dry climate, and so Flagstaff nobody has air conditioning because it doesn't get
oh,
humid and we're high elevation, and
interesting.
so
Okay.
you're experiencing that. I doubt there's much AC anywhere
Yeah.
besides like businesses, but in homes, I'm saying you're not going to get
Right.
a lot of AC in a place like Bend. Is my guess.
Okay. Got it. Well, there is none here.
Right.
And during the day, it gets super hot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I think it was like the second day I was here. And dude, I had like a pounding headache.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that smoke and like just stress or whatever. And I'm like laid out on the floor in this hot house.
Yeah.
And it's just like pounding. And you know what I did?
Huh.
Took a shower.
I love it. Take a shower for once in your
So,
life.
because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. Now, you do crack the windows, and I have this fan, and
Mhm.
like it'll get down to like 50 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you're waking up in this beautiful chilly room. Oh
Yeah.
man, just adding blankets. You start naked. Well, you start
Start
on top of the
naked.
sheets,
Just
partner
completely
to
nude.
not quite. You got to wear some sub skivvies or something,
Yeah.
and then you end it, like just under blankets and stuff. Great.
Love it.
But I was really worried about even being able to fall asleep, and I took that shower, man. I don't usually take a nighttime shower.
Yeah.
So take a shower. If it's really hot out, it'll bring that body temperature down.
Mm-hmm.
Changes the whole night, man.
Yeah.
Put on some clean clothes. Mm-mm-mm.
Now I have, even when it's smoky, taken a shower in
Mm.
the or I've gone into the bathroom and turned the fan on and made it humid in there because that
Ah,
takes it all out of the
yeah.
room. And so that's your that's a
Double
double
whammy.
that's heat and smoke as you get into a room, take that nice cool shower, get all
Mm-hmm.
the air out of there through the fan, give it a little
Yeah.
respite, and then run into bed
Ah.
and fall asleep as fast as you can.
Yeah. Hurry up. Sure. Okay. I love that. But I've never been like a cold shower fan.
Yeah,
Man, I'm taking those left and right here and loving it.
sweet. Awesome. All right. Well, if other people have more advice for us about this, what we thought was a very specific, but ends up being shared block for a lot of our listeners, we want to
Mm-hmm.
hear what people have been doing. And so there's a lot of ways to contact us. You can go to our website, Facebook, Instagram, or email. That's all two Gomers. Or go to bit.ly/runnersblock. All that is right there. And you can give us your runner's block so we have more ideas as we move forward in the podcast. You can call us on the Gomer phone. That number is
608 622 7669. That's 608 NBA Pony. Give us a call.
go to Apple Podcasts, follow us there, rate and review us. That helps us a ton. If you like what you hear, check out our 10th anniversary episodes from September to November 2018. If you're new, that's a great way to get to know who we are. Then you go all the way back to the start. The best way to support us is at patreon.com/2gomers. That's the home of our second podcast, The Bonus Disc,
Mm.
where we release an episode apart from this podcast every single week, including monthly perfect movie episodes and all sorts of other fun stuff. Go there right now. Thanks to Adam, our webmaster, Jason for graphics, Davis for music, and Annie for our social media.
Sweet dude. This is why traveling is really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is like if you had told me this AQI thing,
Yeah.
I'd be like, whatever.
So,
But then you go and experience it and you're
yep.
like, dang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same with elevation.
Yep.
So
Yep. It means so much more to you when it's you.
yeah. Well, yeah. And well, you're able to experience being in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, so I love it. And I feel more insight into your running journey just being here. So
Luckily, there's no fires happening right now near us, but man, oh man, it was such a huge block for us this summer. So I'm glad we got to talk about it.
wow,
Because
for
I was
sure.
thinking, like, when can we talk about it? Um, but yeah, listen, quick little block in and out.
Cool. Love it.
All right, dude, great app.
Super fun, man. Stay safe out there, everybody.
Yep.
And remember, if we can do this, you can do this.
And happy running.
All right, let's stop that. 1, 2, 3, stop. Yay.
Great.
Cool.
All right.
All right, we got time zone and race memories. Want to do time zone first?
Let's do time zone first.
Okay.
I'm stopping.